Hello, good afternoon. I'll talk a bit about intelligent systems, onboard intelligent systems. Back in the days when I was a student working at the Artificial Intelligence Lab at MIT, that was almost 30 years ago, the notion of AI, where AI will first be launched, the idea was that it will first be launched on robots, humanoid robots. Asimov type of robots, robots with eyes and ears, and they walk amongst us and do things like we do. Who would imagine that today, the first launch of artificial intelligence is in a car, not in a humanoid robot. And this is, in the next 20 minutes, I want to show you where this is going. This is the area of driving assist systems, which are sensors and very sophisticated algorithms and computers that scan the visual world, interpret the visual world to understand whether the driver is about to get into an imminent accident and try to avoid the accident. This includes detecting people, detecting cars, detecting traffic lights, traffic signs, lane markings, understanding how the path is constructed, and so forth. So it's a very detailed level of understanding, all geared toward, on one hand, preventing accidents, and on the other hand, which is a bit more futuristic, to have the ability to do autonomous driving. So, and all what I'm showing here is the work of Mobileye, a company that I co-founded since 1999. Today it's a publicly traded company at New York Stock Exchange. So I'll start with the following clip. This is part of a commercial by Hyundai that was aired at last year's Super Bowl. Now, commercial at Super Bowl is very expensive, so you think very carefully what you put there. And they wanted to advertise their new Genesis model. And there are lots of things to talk about a new car, and they chose to highlight active safety. So let me show you the clip. We need sound.
Remember when only Dad could save the day?
Sorry.
Auto emergency braking on the all-new Genesis from Hyundai.
So this is only part of the commercial, but the entire commercial was focused on auto emergency braking, which is the ability, you have a camera in the car, there's also a radar that they work together, and they detect people, they detect cars, and send signals to the car control signal to systems in order to avoid the accident. And what this commercial shows is that this area has reached past a certain threshold of awareness by people. It means people are aware that these technologies are out there, and therefore a company like Hyundai, and it's not only Hyundai, it's BMW, almost all car companies, this degree of awareness has reached a threshold in which companies are spending money in advertising the capability, and governments are spending resources on regulation to incentivize car manufacturers to have these technologies as a standard fit, and I'll get to that. What are these functions? The functions, there's a large variety of functions, starting from the left column where we have safety features like detecting the lanes and providing a signal when the car veers from the lane, detecting vehicles, issuing a warning before a collision, braking before a collision, doing a cruise control, traffic jam assist, where one can drive hands-free for a limited situation, pedestrian detection, detecting people, warning and braking, traffic sign recognition, traffic light recognition, and then the list on the right-hand side is a long list, which in a separate slide I'll get into more details. So there are many, many functions all working together in order to understand the visual field at a level approaching human level perception, approaching a level in which the system can create real value meaning avoid an accident, real value meaning drive autonomously. So I'll show you a bit under the hood. So this is a short clip. I'll run it and stop it just to show you what the system does. So I'll stop it here. So we can see here, the bounding boxes. You see a bounding box. Do we have a laser pointer here? we'll see a bounding box on the cars, there's a bounding box on pedestrians, there's a small green bounding box on the traffic light. So you kind of see the richness of information and what the computer tries to understand. Again, there are pedestrians on the side. In between the cars are pedestrians, the cars themselves. There is a green mark on the side lane, which shows the detection of the lane mark, and so forth. This is a short clip I downloaded from the internet. On one hand, it's funny, but on the other hand, it really shows what the system does. So this is Pedestrian Detection, launched by Volvo back in 2010 on the S60. So this was the first system to detect people and avoid an accident when detecting a pedestrian in a collision course. So they had many journalistic events where they demonstrated the system, but then once the car is available to purchase, people can do their own testing. And what I downloaded here is a group of Polish guys who have been doing their own testing, and you can see exactly how the system works.
Keď ste chodec, tak musíte zastať niekde tu a nehýbať sa.
Now you have a good idea of what I'm talking about. The technology behind this is very sophisticated. This is a Popular Mechanics, one of the 2012 Breakthrough Awards given to GM on a system from Mobileye that detects cars and provides a collision warning before an accident. The ability to do these kinds of perception and interpretation are very, very complex, and has won one of these awards. In terms of reducing the possibility for accidents, that there are the major insurance institute in the US. They issue a report. In this case, they issue here a report on the Honda forward collision warning system, where the probability of reducing an accident goes down by 40%. The cost of an accident is reduced by thousands of dollars, and so forth. So we're talking about technology that is provenly saving lives. Okay, so where does it go? There are two major trends. One trend is an evolutionary trend, is to take the existing technology in incremental steps and have it launched on every car. Every new car from a certain date will have such a system. And this is due to the involvement of regulatory agencies in Europe and United States, in Australia, and in the near future all over the world, which incentivize car manufacturers to introduce these functions as a standard fit by using star ratings. So the 4th and 5th star ratings, starting from a certain date, which is 2014, this year, would be granted only if these kinds of technologies are installed as a standard fit. The next trend, which is more a revolutionary trend, is to take this technology not in an incremental step, but in leaps and bounds, and bring it to a state of autonomous driving. And I'll talk about both of them. So in terms of where the market dynamics are going, since 2011, the regulation has started to get, regulatory agencies got their hands into this field. In 2011, the US regulator, the National Highway Safety Transportation Agency, issued what they call tick in the box. It's a mandate that a car in the showroom must specify whether the car can have as an option lane departure warning and forward collision warning capabilities. So this pushed all car manufacturers to have this kind of feature as an option. Option meaning that the driver pays for it, but at least it is available. In 2014 was a bigger jump. In Europe, the European NCAP has tied the 4th and 5th star ratings to active safety. That means not only warn against the collision, but also brake. The car should brake before a collision, and only if it is standard fit. So it's not provided as an option, but it has to be as a standard fit, just like airbags are a standard fit, in certain models ABS, in certain models stability control. So we're talking about a technology that is in the same peer group as airbags, ABS, stability control, meaning that by 2018 or so, every new car would have an active safety capability. So we're talking about a transformative change in the perception of active safety. Here's an example of the Nissan Qashqai 2014, has 5 stars, and you can see that part of the tests that the vehicle needs to undergo are all these collision avoidance tests. Without them, the car would not get the 5 stars. And we see this also in the dynamics of how our business has grown over the years. We started, Mobileye supplies a system on chip with the algorithms inside. So we started launching 2007, and from 2007 to 2012, we supplied 1 million chips. That means 1 million cars with our technology from 2007 to 2012. In 2013 alone was 1.3 million chips. So again, this is due to, first, awareness, second, the regulatory intervention started in the US in 2011. 2014, up to September, already 2.2 million chips. So we're talking about 2014 is more than double than what we'll have in 2013. In the number of car models, if we see that in 2010 we had 36 car models using our technology over 7 automakers, this year we have 160, 18 automakers. 2016 is 240 automakers. So we see this exponential growth, and largely due to the regulatory agency intervention, bringing this kind of technology to the same level as airbags. Now, I'll give you a glimpse into the futures, taking this kind of technology and many steps forward until we reach autonomous driving. We're talking about animal detection, not only vehicles and pedestrians, reconstructing the road to very, very high accuracy in order to know where the bumps are, where the potholes are, and control the car appropriately. Increase the vocabulary of traffic signs. Today there's about 40 traffic signs in the vocabulary of a system. We're talking about increasing it to 1,000 traffic signs. Doing traffic light detection, stop light detection, road signs detections, being able to determine the free space, to know where all the obstacles are on the side of the road for lateral control, being able to determine the path for hands-free driving. So let me show you some examples. So this is animal detection. It's going to be launched, the first car manufacturer to launch is going to be Volvo, early next year. This is the reconstruction of the road. So what I'm showing here is what you see here is a 4-centimeter bump. And the curves you see on the bump is that the system has detected the bump and the height of the bump by looking at the profile here. So once the system knows the height of the bump, and it could be also a debris, not only a bump, signals to the car control systems are being passed such that one can pass through the bump much smoother, and if it's a debris, to actuate, either warn or brake before hitting the debris. The debris could be a tire that someone left on the road or something like that. Traffic signs. Systems today have about 40 traffic signs. Early next year, about 250 traffic signs. End of next year, about 1,000 different traffic signs that the system understands and can recognize. Traffic lights. What you see here is a recognition of traffic lights and in complex environments. Not only the detection of traffic light, detection of the color of the traffic light, and also the stop line. So the car would be able to stop automatically on red and engage on green, both in urban settings and in semi-highway settings and country roads. Road sign recognition. All these arrows on the road is also part of the vocabulary of the road understanding of the system. Emergency steering. This is a clip by Nissan on the Japanese TV. So it shows how the car can, instead of braking before a collision, avoid the collision. So the sensor is also on the side, knowing whether it is free to move sideways, and before a collision. So let's move this like this. You see how the car is now avoiding the collision rather than braking before the collision. And you can see here that the hands of the driver, see the hands of the driver are in the air, they're not holding the steering wheel. So all of this maneuvering is done automatically by the car systems. Okay? So this is another part of the puzzle of the future. Another part of the puzzle is being able to determine free space. So all the green, the projector here is not the best projector there is, but no, all this green is the free space. So let's have a look of how this free space evolves. So the system knows that wherever the green area ends, it's an area that one cannot drive to. And it also, in very complex situations, let me show you another clip, like in a parking lot, so you can see how this green area, goes into the area between the cars. Also being able, so if we put everything together, we can have a hands-free driving capability. We are launching our first hands-free driving with car manufacturers somewhere towards the end of 2015, 2016. So let me show you how my car works. This is a clip that we prepared as part of the roadshow of the IPO. We don't need to hear the sound, so I will... Okay, the point is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is not important. I'm driving. I'm not looking at the road. My hands are not on the steering wheel, and it's perfectly safe and comfortable. And this kind of technology is coming out in production not far away from today. A year from today, maybe a year and a half from today, but not 10 years from today. It will start with highways, then it will move shortly into country roads, city roads, and then with additional technologies like car-to-car communications come in, one can have the driver disconnect completely from the driver experience somewhere in the area of 2020, 2022. So we're not talking about a very, very far away future. We're talking about a future which is at hand, and it's coming out quite soon. Thank you.